Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Nahmaduhu wa nusalli ala rasulihil kareem. So alhamdulillah, in the last lesson, we started discussing Zamir al-Fa'il. And in this lesson, we're going to finish it off, inshaAllah. Okay? So we said Zama'ir, there are different types of Zamir. You have Zamirun Marfu', Zamirun Mansub, Zamirun Majroor. And a Zamirun Marfu' can be Zamir al-Mubtada, or it can be Zamir al-Fa'il. And a Zamir al-Fa'il can be Zamir Mustatir or Zamir Bariz. And the Zamir al-Marfu', Zamir al-Mubtada was these, which are Huwa, Huma, Hum, Hiya, Huma, Hunna, Anta, Antuma, Antum, Anti, Antuma, Antunna, Ana, and Nahnu. Then we had the table of the Zamir al-Fa'il. We've explained this before. And we said these pronouns are two types. We have Zamir Mustatir, which are these Fa'ala, Fa'alat, Yaf'alu, Taf'alu. And then in here, Af'alu, Naf'alu, If'al, La Taf'al. These are the Zamir Mustatir, and all the rest are Zamir Baris, which have a very clear form, which has been highlighted in the brackets at the end of the verb. Okay, so we have, yes, so we have Zamir Mustatir and Zamir Baris. Right, now, as an example, to make it easier for you to understand, I'll give an example of a phone. Okay, this is a Samsung phone. Okay, and Samsung phone, and that's an Apple phone, iPhone. Okay? Now these phones, all phones have a bit of a memory card. It's built in, some kind of memory system built in the system, a memory card. And that stores all our information, all the photos and all your videos and all your documents, everything is stored on that. This phone, it also has space for an external memory card. So when you save an image, an image comes to you on WhatsApp, you have a choice. You can save it on your phone or you can save it on your memory card. It's up to you. In this phone, you can't do that. Everything has to save on the memory card. Okay? Because this phone does not allow memory cards, external memory cards. You have to use a memory card built onto the phone. Okay? So what we're saying here, why we brought this example is because the same way this has a built-in memory card, this has a built-in memory card, but this you can use your own memory card in certain if you want to, and this one you can't use a memory card. You have to use the built-in memory. The same way we're going to look at verbs. We say, well, verbs are two types. We can think of all of these as being iPhones. Everything apart from the ghaib and the ghaiba. Apart from these, all of these verbs are like iPhones. What does that mean? You have to use the fa'il at the end of the verb. So for example, when I say fa'ala, who is the fa'il? The alif. We can't bring our own fa'il. We can't say fa'ala Zaydun wa Khalidun. I can't say that because fa'ala is not ghaib, it's not ghaiba, it's ghaiban. So this you have to use that fa'il. The fa'il is the alif. You can't bring another fa'il. You have to use that fa'il there. The fa'il is that word. If I say, for example, if alu, all of you do. So if alu, what's a fa'il? The waw is a fa'il. You can't say if alu Zaydun, Zayd, Amar and Khalid, you guys do. You can't say that. You have to use the fa'il. The fa'il is in here, is the alif, the waw. You can't bring your own fa'il. The fa'il is already built in and there's no space, there's no option of bringing your own fa'il. And in this one, we can think of this as being a Samsung. You can use this in two ways. You can use the built-in memory on the thing, or you can use the external memory card. So in fa'ala, we can use the built-in memory card, we can use the built-in fa'il, or we can bring our own fa'il. So for example, if I say dhahaba or dhahabat. Okay? Sorry. Right? Dhahaba is the ghaib and dhahabat is the ghaiba. Now, there is no fa'il after this. So we have a choice. Because there's no fa'il, we can say, let me write it in the black pen standard so we can do tarkib properly. So dhahaba. So is there a marfu' word after it? Is there a fa'il after it? No. So we will say dhahaba is the fa'il and the zamir mustatir, the hidden huwa. So you say fa'il and then you say fa'il, and who is the fa'il? The huwa. But I've also got the option of saying dhahaba Khalidun. Now in this example, dhahaba is the fa'il and we've brought our own fa'il. Khalidun. Khalidun becomes what? The fa'il. So in the dhahaba and dhahaba, these two verbs, we can use it two ways. We can use the onboard fa'il, the huwa, hidden, zamir, mustatir, or we can bring our own fa'il. When we bring our own fa'il, there's no fa'il in the dhahaba. Dhahaba is just a verb on its own. There's no fa'il inside hidden. And if there's no fa'il after it, the zamir, mustatir, the huwa, that becomes the fa'il. Let's do another example. Dhahabat. Because you got dhahabat, nothing after dhahabat, that means this is a fa'il and a fa'il. What's the fa'il going to be? The zamir mustatir of here. And if we have dhahabat Fatima, dhahabat Fatima, and dhahabat becomes a fa'il and Fatima becomes a fa'il. There's no fa'il in here now. This is only a verb. And that ta is a sign of the word being mu'annath, of the verb being mu'annath. That's not the fa'il. The fa'il is Fatima too. Okay? So what we can use this kind of flow chart. Whenever we see a verb, mentally you can ask yourself a question. What kind of verb is this? What form is it in? If it's al-ghaib or al-ghaiba, one option. And the second option is what? It's not ghaib and ghaiba, it's one of the other forms. If it's one of the other forms, straight away you know the fa'il is the pronoun with joint, not with, is the pronoun with the verb.
It makes sense because you start.
Okay, so the verb and the pronoun after it, like fa'ala, fa'alu, fa'alata, fa'alnata, tumatum, yaf'alani, yaf'aluna, taf'alani, yaf'alna. Those letters at the end, they become the pronoun. If it's a ghaib and ghaiba, you need to ask another question. What question do you ask? Is there a marfu noun after the verb or not? If there's no marfu noun, that means you use the huwa and the here on board. You make that the fa'il. And the fa'il of huwa and here becomes the pronoun. And if there is a marfu noun, then that becomes the fa'il. Okay? Let's try. Leave this chart in the corner and let's try. We have the word tafa. What does tafa mean? To circumambulate, mean go around. So of the Kaaba, for example. So tafa. So let's add a verb. Let's add a verb here. Tafal Ka'bata. Or you say tafa hawla al-Ka'bati. Hawla means around. So after tafa, is there? Sorry, Mr. After tafa, is there? So what's the question? What form of the verb is it? Is it ghaib and ghaiba? Yes, so be here. Is there a marfu noun after it? Hawla is a zarf, maf'ulun fi. That's not marfu. So we say no. So the fa'il is going to be the pronoun huwa. So in Turkey we say tafa fa'ilun and fa'ilun. And the pronoun is the huwa. Difficult to write. And hawla al-Ka'ba becomes the maf'ulun fi. Maf'ulun fi. Mudaf and mudaf ilayh. Okay? Let's use this chart again. Okay? Let me say Tafa Zaydun. Tafa Zaydun. What form is it? It's ghaib and ghaiba. Is there marfu after it? Yes, Zaydun. That means that what? The marfu noun. The marfu noun is the fa'il. So we say Tafa is fa'il. There's no fa'il in Tafa. The fa'il is Zaydun. That becomes the fa'il. Zabahat. What does zabahat mean? To slaughter. So zabahat, we say there's no marfu after it. It's a ghaiba. There's no marfu noun. So the here becomes the fa'il. The fa'il is the pronoun. So zabahat, we say fa'il, fa'il, and the fa'il is here. Zabahat Fatima, there's a marfu noun after it. Same thing, but there is a marfu noun. So that marfu noun becomes a fa'il. So zabahat is fa'il and Fatima is the fa'il. Are you following? Okay, any questions? Another example. Tanamu. So nama, yanamu, to sleep. Tanamu, no fa'il after it. So this becomes fa'il and fa'il. This is fa'il and fa'il. and the fa'il is going to be here. Tanamul bint, this is the fa'il now. Yaghfirullah, there's a marfu' word after the verb yaghfiru. So this becomes a fa'il. And yaghfiru, no fa'il. So this becomes a fa'il. And the fa'il. And the fa'il is going to be the zamir mustatir of huwa. Amanna. So amana to believe. What form of the verb is it? It's not ghaib and ghaiba. If it was ghaib, it will be amana. If it was ghaiba, it will be amanat. So it's not the ghaiba. It's not the ghaib or ghaiba. So straight away, the fa'il is inside. So you say fa'il. And it also have what? Fa'il. And you have to label the pronoun. What's the pronoun? The na. Meaning, amanna, we believed. Sabartum. Straight away, same thing. So what? Sabara is a fa'il. And fa'il. What's the fa'il? Tum. Mashaytu. Same thing. Fa'il. Fa'il. Who's the fa'il? The ta. Sakatata. Sakata is the fa'il. And the fa'il. Now remember, we said the ta, this is a sign of as equal to ta marbuta. That's not the fa'il. The fa'il is, sorry, the second ta is what? For mu'annas, and the fa'il is only the alif. Only the alif is a fa'il. The ta is a sign of the verb being mu'annas. Okay? A'malu. Same thing again here. So a'malu is fa'il. What form is a'malu? Ya'malu, ya'malani, ya'maluna. If you go right to the end, a'malu, na'malu. So it's fa'il and fa'il. And the fa'il is a pronoun ana inside, because there's no pronoun after it. So the zamir is mustatir. Okay? Correct? Yu'minuna, nothing after, there's a pronoun inside, so it becomes fa'il, they believe. Fa'il, fa'il, and you say the fa'il is the waw, not the noon. There's a reason for that, we do that later on inshallah in a bit higher level. Aqumu is fa'il, fa'il, qama yaqumu, and aqumu, I stand. So the fa'il is going to be ana, because we can't see anything after the meme. Tajlisna, yajlisu, yajlisani, yajlisuna, tajlisu, tajlisani, yajlisna, and tajlisna. So you say here, this is fa'il and fa'il. Remember the noon of the mukhatabat and the hadirat, they are the fa'il. The other noons are not fa'il. So this noon becomes a fa'il. And I know the noon rule can be a bit confusing. We'll do that in more detail inshallah later on. So the noon of the mukhatabat and the ghaibat, yaf'alna and taf'alna, those noons are the fa'il. And the other noons are not fa'il. There's a reason for that, a bit more detail inshallah. Okay, to summarize, we have pronouns. The pronouns can be zamir marfu or zamir mansoob. The zamir marfu is either zamir al-mubtada or zamir al-fa'il. And the zamir al-fa'il can be mustatir or it can be bariz. Mustatir means hidden and bariz means clearly explicit, and you can see it openly in the verb. Okay, any questions? If you have any questions, let me know inshallah. Subhanallah wa bihamdi, subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika, wa nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, wa nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk.